Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is your brother, Talib Abdurrahim Pew. And here taking a walk real quick. I got to go and get something. Inshallah, I want to get myself prepared and heading to work. Alhamdulillah, peace and blessings to all as well. I'm just here again to add to my other video because, of course, I had to go to work. I had to get back on this grind at this plantation. But is going to the African diasporans and the brothers and sisters of Islam that are struggling with this issue at hand. The Arab hand, or which is probably put the Arab hand or Arab involvement in slavery and the likes of this. But on the things that have been going on, there's been a lot of backlash, and the backlash has been on the Muslims, African American Muslims, as being Arab lovers, besides the Arabs of what they've done, our Arab brothers have done in the past and are still doing. Those who are doing what they're doing and getting away with the evil. But they're not the only ones. I mean, slavery continues, as we know. And it's not a phenomena, as I mentioned, for just one particular race. But it is still an evil that takes place today. I mean, they have sex slaves now. People who are, and especially younger people, being snatched up, kidnapped, taken away for slavery, sex slavery. So slavery, when you look in the English dictionary, it's clear. The word is generalized. It doesn't speak. It is on any specific race. You understand? But when you put it with the race, and especially when people have their biasness and they go with it and add to it, then they create a racism type of effect of it more than anything. So let's not get ourselves caught up in that cloud and being blinded in that manner by the fact of what racism really is. What slavery really is. It's not a phenomena of any race, particular race, or a religion for that. And that's the main point, and that's the main position of us Muslim brothers who are doing what we've been trying to do to bring some clarity. But know that Allah created all of us, Al-Khalaq, created all of us, as is mentioned in the Quran. And I will bring the proof of the ayat later, because I'm right now, like I said, I'm walking, and I just did this video because I didn't want to forget what was on my mind to bring to the people. So, but that Allah said that He created us all equal. Basically, this is paraphrased. It's not word for word. Don't get me wrong, because if it was word for word, it would be in Arabic. And I know how to speak Arabic. I'm not fluent at it, but I know how to read it and write it and speak it. So, and that could be later on. I'll try to make sure later on that I will bring it to you. But He says, know that He created us in difference. He created us in different races, basically, but that we would know each other. So that we would know each other, or that we would know each other. That can be another translation. English translation. That meaning and the understanding of the ulama and the clarity of that, as I've learned through my time learning, that you are different, I'm different, even if we're the same color. But we're gonna try to get to know each other. And in knowing a person is that you respect a difference from the person. And knowing a person is that you get to know who they are. So everybody has their own, uniqueness And that could be within even a family, children, even a twin. You understand? People who are binded by blood have uniqueness, let alone when the blood goes long ways past, as I mentioned in the video before, Bani Adam, goes way away from the DNA being found that we are related by blood. No, we are different, but to get to know each other, not to get to rule over each other, not to get to racistly violate each other, attack each other, rape each other, steal from each other. None of this. It's not what we was created for. We was created for, first off, is to worship him, submit to him in this life, and do what he's pleased with in his life. Do what if we're gonna do something, do what that which would please him, not displease him. Because when you displease Allah, as it comes to show, we have destruction. That's the ultimate. But you have calamity before that, and calamity creates destruction. And not just a physical calamity, it could be mental calamities. People getting mentally stricken in their heads, and disorders coming, where they cannot deal with the mental strains of life. And then people do other things that come about that could be destructive. You understand? So basically, excuse the noise in the background. I'm out, these kids outside, and I was walking back to my house. But assalamu alaikum. Basically, this is the point that I'm trying to make, is that we got to get away from, as a people, because that became the dilemma of our from our history with our ancestors to present. This is the dilemma that we've had. So why would we want to create the same destructive type of mentality and thoughts and go about our life in the same manner as the people who did oppress us? Have a hate to them, have a feeling towards them, because we feel, okay, this is the way that we're going to raise our people up. No, this is not. See, we got to understand, we're trying to raise our people up, but raising a people up is not feeding them evil. That which you've learned. Raising a people up is feeding them what is going to be beneficial to them. So animosity and hate and wanting also to seek revenge does not raise you up. Doesn't even really satisfy you, really. What's satisfying is making sure the future is not the bad past. Or the present and the future, you're doing what is correct, and you do not allow what has happened in the past. So getting to know each other, back to the point, is that's what we're supposed to be doing. Now, we already know our oppressors. We know what they have done. They were supposed to get to know us without oppression, without taking our rights. They come into our lands, sit down. Some of them did start like that, the missionaries. You know the stories. Marco Polo did to Asia. Yeah, And some Arabs did that too. Came and traded with peace, and then the rest, when it came to war, they tried to take what they wanted. But they erred, and they have to be corrected. So of course, I don't have a problem with dialogue, speaking about what they've done and then clarifying it and saying, hey, listen, I'm going to go and talk to my Arab brother and educate him about his ancestors past, and then whatever they're doing now, any brothers like today now is doing. Educate them, let them know, because knowledge is key to life. Knowledge is what gives you the proper guidance you need to apply the life correctly. If you have no, and that's what we learn in Islam. That's clear. Without faith, it gives us a full surrounding, all the way around understanding of life and how to deal with life and how to do things and how to maneuver in the pitfalls of life, part of life, as well as be thankful and be, you know, uh, um, and have gratitude with what comes, grateful with what comes and everything. You know, the good that comes that you get, because you can't forget that neither. But of course, back to the point, we have to get a grip of ourselves and our mentalities. We can't keep blind following people through emotions. One of the guy that I spoke on in my other video, past this one, that the person I was going back and forth with in this setting, this stream, as on the panel, and a few things stuck with me, of course, but that stuck with me, saying, which was showing what he was really going through. Said, no, you came with emotion. You're dancing. I wasn't dancing. I don't dance. That's not my way. That's for women in Islam. That's for women. It's not for men. They dance during the holidays or dance during the wedding or something. You know, men, we sit back and we rejoice and we thank Allah. You understand? But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother understanding with tradition and when it comes with Islam and cultural ways with that are permitted within Islam. Because Islam has guidelines for reasons, and you have to learn it first before you can understand the depth of the reasons. Some people say, "Oh, that's too. Oh, no, I ain't. That's why I'm glad I'm not Muslim," like that guy said. Because I told him when I was out of the room. See, I wasn't really focused on him anyway, so that's how he got over a little bit on getting his word more out than me, plus drowning me out. But that's how they do. That's their tactic. But I left the room for a little while because I had to go and pray salat. I had to pray to my Lord, and I told him, because he was a person who left the faith. He's an apostate of religion. So I told him, "You remember?" He said, well, where was you at? I said, I want to pray. You remember Salah? And he said, oh, yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. I said, I'm sure you are, if that's what you truly feel you are. And, I left it like that. But basically, the point is, Salah is incumbent upon me. And this is what the Creator gives to us so that we can have a connection with Him better. And a lot of things come, a lot of much benefits come out of it. So it's all tied together. So with us, when we have things that we have to do in our faith that some people don't understand, and they think, oh, it's too strict, too extreme, and the people, they're extreme and they're radical. That's just what the Europeans been saying, because they're trying to misguide you anyway. They've been trying to continue to misguide you. And then you have Africans in the continent that speak this too, because their country at some point had too much natural hold, the natural way of spirituality as a hold on them, even when Islam entered, and they accepted, and then maybe a whole tribe accepted, a whole village or whatever, and the people accepted in the whole country. Maybe they still held on to some of those things. But in Islam, there are things that they're not permissible for us to do as Muslims. So the ones that wanted to hold on to these things and not leave them off, but only they can keep the things that Allah and His Messenger doesn't speak about being impermissible, that we can do in our, as far as culture, our African culture or our African traditions, the cooking that we do, the family net. It's just from Islam. The respect to elders, that's from Islam. The rejoicing during weddings and things, and playing, and the people dancing and playing the dafa, playing the djumbe drum and the kwika. That's the drums of the Africans. That's our drums. Even though the Arabs had the dafa, but the women played it and they danced. And the men The men sat there and watched and listened and rejoiced and was thankful to Allah. Number one, that's the Tawheed. That's giving Allah his oneness, his worship. This is the point for us. We don't want to partake in the shirk and kufr and disbelief. So we're not leaving off from our heritage of who we are as Africans or African descendants in the diaspora, but we want to be right with the one who gave us the existence in this life, so that we can get back that which we lost. Because we got to understand why, and this is something that we can discuss. Why did Allah take away our rights or passed over our human rights to be taken from another people? Why? Let's find that out, inshallah. So until the next video, inshallah, we will try to get more into these discussions and talks on this matter and this issues at hand, and then go from there and continue to learn and bring some clarity about what Islam truly is, inshallah. All right, to our people and our brothers and sisters in the deen. Naam. So, salamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessings, and thank you all. Have a good continuous evening into the rest of the day, inshallah.